Welcome to Modern Musings, conversations with the maiden, mother, and crone, looking at ourselves and the world through the lens of the 21st century. Hey everybody, welcome back to Modern Musings. If you are just tuning in for the very first time, we are three women that like to talk about pretty much anything. Anything.
And everything.
I'm Amber, and I'm going to be your hostess for today. I'm here with my co-hosts, Kristen and Cindy.
Hello.
And today we're going to talk about the book Tiny Habits. The Small Changes That Change Everything by B.J. Fogg. And this book was recommended to me a year ago, actually. Going through my counseling journey, I did a residency last summer in Beaumont, and my mentor counselor said, hey, you should read this book. And it's a pretty great book.
Yeah.
It's really easy to read. It kind of breaks everything down for you. And, it's just talking about, like, the habits that you can do and change every day. Now, I don't know if we're going to get through this whole book today because there's a lot to go through in the book. But definitely, this book is for you if you've ever told yourself, hey, this time I'm really going to change. And then a week later, you're back to where you started.
Pretty much every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you're not alone. This is every day I'm like, today I'm going to do different. And then I don't.
Yep.
So then the next day, it's kind of like the same concept. And then here you are 40-something years later,
60-something years later. Yeah, I don't know, right?
So, most people think that they fail at habits because they lack discipline. Now, that's true.
We tell each other that.
Yeah.
I always think of discipline as punishment. I'm really good at that.
Well, you punish yourself for
I
not
discipline
doing it
myself.
right?
Yeah.
Well, this book tells you a little bit different, that it's not the problem at all. The problem is the way that we as a society have been taught to change.
Oh, okay.
So, we've all been taught to go big, right?
Go big or go home. Yeah.
Cold turkey, overhaul your routine, stay motivated, push through, move forward, go, 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 go,
Don't give up. Success is, blah,
never
blah, blah.
give up, never surrender. So, but this book right here tells you need to do the opposite.
Oh, okay.
It tells you that real change doesn't happen when you just go in full force, intense. It comes from simplicity and consistency.
Very, very, yeah.
Just like one little thing at a time. And staying with that one little thing. Like, for an example, you have a goal that you want to walk more. Most people in January, right? Or they want to exercise. Your goal is to exercise. Okay? Most people, or lose weight. That's the overreaching goal.
Yeah, that's a big one right there. Yeah.
Lose weight. Lose 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds in a year or whatever.
Right.
And then your goal in January is, and this is like prime gym time.
Oh, yeah.
Join the gym. Everybody
goes to the gym.
going to the gym in January, right? And they're killing it. They're overhauling, like running,
1 to 2
exercising,
hour workouts.
1 to 2 hour workouts.
Full gear.
And then they
like,
burn
buying
themselves
all the-
out by March, and they're like, man,
Yep.
I don't have time to go to the gym today.
And all of a
you
sudden, the
know.
rest of us have parking places again.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then they're like, they're starting to slow down. And then by 6 months in, they're like, you know what? I'm not going to the gym anymore. I'm going to go eat that hot dog.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well,
true.
so the small changes would be you can join the gym in January, but you're not going to go spend 2 hours in the gym. You might just spend 5-10 minutes walking.
Okay.
And I know when you go to the doctor and they're all like, you need to walk like 30 minutes a day, 10,000 steps a day. Well, if you're not used to it, you're going to burn out really quickly.
Yeah. And you're going to give up because you're going to
Yeah.
fail. Yeah.
Exactly. And then,
Or
if
you're not going to do it because you don't have the moment.
yeah.
Time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Versus the moment. Yeah.
So this is like small changes. Start walking 5-10 minutes a day.
Mm-hmm.
Walk around the block.
Mm-hmm.
Walk your dog. Park a little bit farther away from work.
Go
Gosh.
outside.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go.
to
Yeah.
actually go
Just
outside.
leave
Actually
the
just
house.
go
There we
outside.
go. That's step one. Just leave.
Put on pants. Yeah.
Okay, that works too. Yeah,
Put on your
exactly.
sneakers. Yeah.
Maybe we're jumping in a little bit too different. Like put on pants. That's day one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out of. Stand up.
Yes.
Stand
Get off
up
the
for
bed.
like more than 5 minutes at a time. That's day one right there. Day two would be putting on pants. Day three, putting on shoes. Day four, walking outside. Day five, walk down to the end of your driveway. Day 6, walk around the block. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
We
get it.
the
You
point.
get it.
Yeah. And
yeah.
it really is that it, this brings me, and you're probably going to talk about this, but I'm going to throw this in there because my one little word, like over the last couple of months, they were talking about that consistency and that small step, like small progress is still progress. That even making those baby steps is still making progress towards your goals. And some people, when they're like, we were talking about setting a practice of like going to the gym or whatever. And some people, if they fail to do it one day, then they just give up.
Yeah.
And they don't go back. And so really that's not what the thing is. A consistent practice is just coming back to it over and over and over again. Like you said, in small steps. It doesn't have to be that huge thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Just returning.
Returning to it every time. That's what makes it a practice. Yeah.
So so Fogg talks about that, and then like over everything in the book, he at the whole center of the book and concept, he has a behavior model that he talks about, and it's called BMAP. So, and it's B equals MAP.
Okay.
And it means behavior, B for behavior, equals motivation plus ability plus prompt.
Ah.
So a behavior happens when all of those three things come together. The motivation, the ability, and the prompt. So the behavior is obviously the action that you want someone to do or you want to do. It could be brushing teeth, studying, exercising like I talked about before, right? Checking your phone, apologizing, drinking water. It's just a behavior.
Right.
Or avoiding something. So the motivation is your desire behind the behavior.
Okay.
The problem is that motivation goes up and down, he talks about.
Yes.
So
yes.
you might feel motivated to change your whole life, but then the next morning, you're not motivated.
Mm-hmm.
So it all starts with motivation. And then the ability. So your ability to change, how easy or hard the change is.
Okay.
The easier something is, the more likely you're going to do it. Like
Right.
getting out of bed, right? Putting on the pants. So that's why Fogg says to make your habits, tiny.
Okay.
Instead of work out for an hour,
Uh-huh.
you're just going to do 10 minutes,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then the prompt. The prompt is the trigger that reminds you to do the behavior. I know when you think of prompt, you think of writing prompt, but
Right.
no, this is like you're prompting to do something. Without a prompt, the behavior usually won't happen.
Okay.
So in the book, Fogg suggests that you suggest using something you already do as a prompt.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, for example, if you're wanting to get into flossing, your dentist tells you that you need to floss.
Uh-huh.
We'll go with Kristen's job right here. So your habit that you're going to do is after I brush my teeth, the whole idea is that you're going to floss at least one tooth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Of course, while you're in my mind, I'm like, of course, while you're flossing,
if
you
you're
might
gonna
as well floss
that
all
one
of it,
tooth,
right?
you're gonna wind up.
But some people just hate trying to floss the challenging ones, so they avoid the easy ones.
Yeah, so that they don't have to do any of them.
Yeah. So that makes perfect sense. At least if you floss one or two teeth, you save the ones you take care of.
Yeah.
Oh, and my teeth.
And after you get used, and what's going to happen is that once you've flossed some of your teeth, you're going to develop that habit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're gonna,
and then you're going to increase it,
or like
increase
if
it.
Exactly.
you're the type of person that puts off brushing your teeth and to the point where you forget, it's better to just brush your teeth imperfectly than to like make it perfect.
Yes.
So even if you just do a rapid brush,
Progress is still progress.
Yeah.
Even if it's not. Yes.
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 Yeah, so pretty much like brushing your teeth is the prompt. So the ability, of course, is like how easy or hard is it to do the behavior.
Right.
And then your motivation, of course, is like you want to have better teeth. That's the motivation.
So like the ability would be leaving the floss out on the counter to reinforce that habit because it's right there.
Right.
Yeah. So like you're going to start with flossing one tooth. You're going to brush your teeth. You're going to floss one tooth.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day you're going to pick up the floss again. And you're going to floss that tooth again. And then you're going to floss another tooth.
Mm-hmm.
And so on and so forth. Or maybe, you have so many teeth in your mouth, that's going to take a long time. But basically, you're going to start.
Yeah.
You're going to start out with your flossing routine small, and your tooth care routine small, and then you're going to gradually build up to that routine.
And you're stacking it with that's that habit stacking thing that we've talked about before. And you're going to stack it with your toothbrushing so that it makes it an automatic next step.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're gonna build up, you're gonna brush, you're gonna floss, and then you're gonna do something else. What's something else dental related that you can do?
Mouthwash.
Mouthwash. So once you've got the brushing down, once you got the flossing down, then you're gonna mouthwash. So on, so forth. Stacking those habits.
Yeah.
Every day.
Okay.
Oh, and then over time, eventually, as the year goes by, now you've completely revamped your oral health care routine. 'Cause
Right.
now you're doing, bleaching strips, and you're going to the dentist more often,
And you might start stacking other habits with it, like your face washing.
yeah,
Or
I
yeah.
see.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and this is kind of an example of something that I did to get a skincare routine together.
Okay.
Because I used to have really bad dry chicken skin. I mean, I still have it on my arms.
Uh-huh.
And if you don't know what chicken skin is, which I'm sure y'all do,
Goose flesh,
goose
yeah.
flesh, like thicker skin on your arms that is kind of
Keratosis.
bumpy and
Keratosis or keratosis?
yeah, keratosis,
Yeah.
pretty
Oh.
much. Chicken skin is like the layman's term of it or whatever. And my arms used to be really, because Krista in the last episode was talking about her elbows, how she has itchy elbows. My arms used to be like really itchy and bumpy and gross feeling. And, I used to have really bad dry skin on my legs and stomach, like the dry skinny areas. So this has been like, I don't know, several years ago, where I told myself, okay, I don't want to have this gross, picky skin anymore. I'm going to start like a body skincare routine. And I wanted to do a face skincare routine as well. So, I started small. I was like, I'm going to put lotion, like the 24-hour moisture type lotion on my arms every day. And I'm going to do it after I get out of the shower. So I kind of gradually started with just slapping some lotion on my arms. And then, I built it up to where I put a little bit more lotion, slathered it up on my arms every day. And then I moved to my legs. And now I have like a whole routine where, I pretty much lotion down my whole body now.
Right.
Like I just bathe in lotion in the morning because I don't want to have that dry skin anymore. I want to do, and I only want to do it once a day because doing it twice a day is just like, it's kind of like taking pills in the morning and pills at night. It's
I
like,
do that.
it's like you got to build up to that because you're going to forget by the time you go to bed. Especially those of us with ADHD who can only do like one thing at a time. So I built up my skincare routine where now I have a whole thing. I get out of the shower. I slather on the lotion. I have put I have under eye lotion that I put under my puffy eyes. I have whole face lotion. I put like toner and all that good stuff to where, now I, don't have like the really horrible, gross breakouts anymore. And, like when you rub your hand down my arm lovingly, it's not like ew. and that's how you get soft skin. Actually my motivation on like skin care routine has always been my friend Stacy, because if I have chicken skin, she has lizard skin. And I say this lovingly. She kind of has like a problem where like her legs get really scaly, like really bad, like lotion wise. And so she has always just like had this like skincare routine. So her hands and arms and legs and everything stays soft. And that was kind of like my motivation. Like, I want to have skin like Stacy. Because I remember what it used to be like when we were kids. And she has this whole thing to the point where she makes her own lotion and stuff like that. And she's got it down pat. And I'm like, well, I'm not there yet. But next year when we come back, I'm going to have made my own lotion. I'm just kidding. But that was definitely like, that's an example of like a tiny habit that I feel like that, I've gotten down to the point. What about you guys?
I think think we've all done something that was a time. I mean, that's how our routines change in the first place. We don't ever succeed at changing our routines by like completely stopping everything we do and doing something completely new. I mean, do we? I don't know that anybody does. It's usually always in small, I'm going to add sitting in my recliner to my morning coffee so that I can relax a little bit before I do whatever.
All of the times where like that sudden life change,
They never stick.
or it was like forced upon me and it was like survival mode.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like when we went from getting up, getting dressed, and getting to work and office to suddenly like
Being at home, working from home.
that was like, habit change.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, like, new habits were formed, but they weren't always the
but-
best ones.
But
and
those new habits, good or bad, always start small. You pick it. That's how you start bad habits too.
Yeah.
It's small. You
just
do this one
return
thing and
to
you keep
it.
repeating it
Yeah.
over and over until it grows into something you don't recognize. And, like an addiction or whatever. So,
Right.
we've talked about that a couple of weeks ago. So I've done a lot of those little micro habits like that, I think. Just changing little things in my life. One that was really in particular for me, when I was diagnosed with diabetes, my doctor said no more white rice. And, all these things you need to change your diet drastically. That was like impossible to face. It was just totally impossible to face. But what I did was I started kind of slowly changing some of the things that were easy to tolerate, like the white rice. I replaced my white rice with brown rice, and at first it was kind of weird to eat the brown rice, and we didn't eat it all that often. We just didn't have rice very often.
Yeah.
But then I got so used to eating the brown rice that white rice is really weird to me.
Yeah.
It really is. It's too soft. It's mushy. It's not, and it doesn't have all the flavor of the brown rice. But I started just by doing that one little thing. And then we changed one other little thing. And then I changed one other little thing. And, gradually I began to eat better and introduction of medicine. I didn't start out with, 15 different pills every day. I started with one pill and, trying to remember that one pill every day. And then the doctor added another pill, and, now it's a habit. So I take my pills. I mostly don't forget my pills. But when I first started taking pills, I forgot them all the time because it wasn't a habit.
Yeah.
And you just have to keep coming back to that same small habit over and over and over again. It's the consistency that makes it a habit, not how big it is or whatever. It's the consistency.
Yeah. I think one of the things I visited this year, there's two that I've done. And I know one of them just sounds really weird because I think a lot of people have a normal, consistent habit, but I didn't. And I think it's because I couldn't ever figure out like where it was most comfortable. But for me, it was, when do I take my bath or my shower?
Oh, right. Yeah.
I know that sounds so weird because like some people are like, oh, I can't start
Every
my
morning.
day until I
Every
take a
morning.
shower.
Or
right?
every night before I go to bed. Or, yeah.
Like, yeah, it made sense to take my shower before I went somewhere. So before I went to work, or before, like on Saturday, if I was just hanging out around the house, then I'd take it before we went to dinner. But that's like in the middle of the day. And then, with having long hair, I didn't like taking it at nighttime, but I actually prefer to take it at nighttime. I want to get into bed fresh and clean. So I was like in this weird limbo of when should I take a shower? And I was always like trying to fight this like efficiency with also like this
Comfort.
weird pattern of telling myself that I hadn't earned a shower yet because I hadn't done anything.
Yeah.
And then there was also this other combating feeling of, well, you're not going anywhere, so you don't need to take a shower. Like, that was always battling with me. I know
Right.
that sounds weird, but it
No,
was...
I get it. I totally get that.
So,
I do.
instead of just being one of those type of people that I always wished I could be like, I wish I could just wake up at 6 and take a shower and, like, feel fresh for the day. Like, I never felt that motivation.
I've never wanted to wake up at 6 in
exactly.
my life.
Oh,
I
that's
didn't have that motivation.
Yeah.
Because...
that's definitely going to go into our next talking point. So go on.
Okay.
Yeah, motivation.
So, then... and this is actually like a topic I had with my therapist about taking a shower isn't something you earn.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I needed to, like, rewire
I do that
my
too.
brain.
But we do that. We do that with food. We do that. I do that
Yes.
all the time with food.
Because I used to say, oh, I'm going to exercise, and then I'll be sweaty, and then I'll take a shower.
Uh-huh. But you never get to the exercise.
And so then I didn't take my shower, and then I was, like, putting it off. And then I'm like, why am I going 2 days, like, mad at myself because I'm stinky, but then also telling myself, like, not to. And then, so, again, it's like, why do I have this weird habit that's unhealthy habit of, like, berating myself about taking a shower and about not taking a shower at the same time. And then all I want to do is just feel fresh. And every time I get in the shower, I'm like, oh, this is so good. I should do this more often.
Why did I put this off? Yeah.
Yeah. So I finally just was like, you know what? I don't have to go to sleep with wet hair because I have a solution. And it's so weird, but you gave me like towel
Yes.
wrap thing
Yes.
for Christmas one year, and it came with one of those turbans.
Yes.
And now that's part of my shower routine. Like, who would have thought I just needed a stupid turban so that I could take a bath every day? And the other thing I got was a hairnet or whatever, a shower cap.
Uh-huh.
Because sometimes I just want to relax and take
You
a
don't
shower.
have to wash. It's not good to wash your hair every day.
That was one of the reasons, because I don't want to wash my hair if my hair didn't get dirty, because then it dries it out. So, because I got a lot of hair too, and it takes like all night to dry, and my pillow gets wet, and then I get pimples on my neck.
Yep.
So there's like all these factors about when to take a shower. And so I got the turban, and then I discovered, oh, I can lay in bed for like 20 minutes and scroll my phone or read my book.
Yep.
And then take the turban off, and then my hair's not wet enough to make my pillow wet.
Right.
And then it was like, oh, suddenly I now have permission to take a shower every night before bed. And that's like my favorite thing to do now is I'm like, I can't wait to go to my room and take my shower. And then when I get out of the shower, I comb my hair.
And so
I put my turban
stacked it
on.
with these other things.
Yeah, and now I'm like,
yeah.
make sure I brush my teeth every night before I go to bed, because I was struggling with doing that, twice a day. And so now it's like this little habit stack thing. And then, I put on my pajamas. It's like this little ritual of comfort. And then we always turn the blankets down the exact same way every night. And then I have this like cool little light in my room. And it's now become like this serene, like 2 hours now. Because now I'm going to bed earlier because I want to I'm ready for that routine. And then I lay there and I enjoy being in my bed because I got my cool turban on and my pillow's not getting wet. And it's so silly. Like, that's all it took. Was finding, and it's the behavior, the motivation, the ability, and that prompt. Like, I just didn't know what it was. The other one that I did in this past year, that was more intentional, unlike the showering thing. I just stumbled across that one, and then I discovered that I liked the routine. But I wanted to stop with the fake sugar creamer in my coffee.
Right.
And so long story short, I used to put powdered creamer and a ton of sugar, like real sugar in my coffee when I drank it at work. And I was just like, wow, that's a lot of sugar. So then I moved to Sweet and Low. And then when we started working from home, I switched to the liquid creamer. and I was still doing a sweet and low, so it was like super sweet still. And my therapist and I were talking about like those sugars and stimulation that they give you, and how those could also be things causing like inflammation and other irritants in my life. And so she encouraged me to do elimination and see if I could eliminate those sugars. And that was really hard. Like, I worked on that for some years.
Right.
And I finally got rid of adding the pink sugar. I had to switch to a different sugar. A different fake sugar. And then
The green sugar?
I went to the yellow one.
Okay.
So I switched from one devil to the other. But then eventually I weaned myself off of that and was just using the liquid creamer, and I did that for like 2 years, maybe 3 years, like that. And then eventually I switched from the creamer to half and half. And that was probably the hardest one because that was the last sugar drop, right? And that was when I went into like a huge sugar withdrawal, which was crazy because that creamer was sugar-free.
Yeah, but your brain thinks...
your brain still
was
thinks
still...
it's kind of like sugar-free soda.
Yeah. So my brain, that's why it was the hardest. But now I drink my coffee with half and half and nothing else. And I have been putting less half and half, and there have been days where I drank it black. And
wow.
I can't
Sounds good to me.
believe that I went through that. You know, I would not have been able to do that cold turkey.
Right. But
it was
by
a
doing
long
it in
journey,
small
but
stages,
I did it. Yeah, absolutely. And so that one was more intentional. It took me way longer to do. But you know, I'm getting to the point now where I literally could just pour a black cup of coffee and drink it, and I would be okay with it. And I think at this point, like, if I start doing that, then I could actually wean myself off of the half and half altogether.
And that's a really good goal because coffee itself is really good for you. But you know, it's all
in
the
moderation.
junk.
Yeah,
that it's all the junk that, you know, it's kind of like red wine is good for you. If you drink a glass of it every day, it's good for you. But most people drink the whole bottle. You know, it's kind of like most people they don't crave the coffee. Aside from me, like I'm addicted to the flavor of black coffee, you know. It's not even caffeine. Like, caffeine doesn't even do anything for me. It's just like I like that flavor of the black coffee,
right?
Of the cold brew, actually. Black coffee.
And see, mine is the
it's
warmth.
Cold.
Mine is
like
the warmth.
The cold.
See, I like the warmth and the creaminess of the creamer. Yes.
Yeah. See, and then that's what most people like, especially when they go to Starbucks, Dutch Bro, whatever. They want that sugar. They want the creamer, the breve, the sugar, the creaminess. You know, whereas like when I go to Starbucks. Or actually, there's a closer coffee shop near my work, and I'll go and I'll get 3 shots of espresso over ice, and and I'm good. I don't normally put anything in it.
Wow.
Yeah, I like that, and that is what will wake me up. And it's that the taste of the espresso. It's not even the caffeine, because I'm so desensitized to caffeine. That just the espresso will wake me up, especially if I have a headache.
Well, it is proven that caffeine is helpful for headaches because it's a vasoconstrictor. So, yeah.
And it's, you know, it's springtime is when it hits me the hardest, like the headaches and everything like that.
Yeah.
The pressure change is when I need
allergens,
that triple shot of espresso. And I've found a coffee place that, like, their espresso they make in like 2s. So if you go and order a triple shot, they'll ask you if you want that 4th shot. You know, beat the system.
So you were talking about motivation. You said Kristen's thing was leading into motivation.
Yeah.
I'm curious about.
Yeah, that kind of
That's
leads.
a hard one.
Yeah. And Fogg talks about like motivation is emotional.
Of course it is. Yes.
So building habits around motivation leads to inconsistency. So, like, how many times have we said, I'm going to start dieting on Monday? Monday rolls around and you do one thing to fall off your diet. And you're like, man, I ruined this week.
So I'm just going to eat all the donuts.
I'm going to eat donuts all week and then I'm going to start again on next Monday.
Yep.
And then and it's just like, and I'm guilty of this too. It's kind of like exercising at the beginning of the year. I'm going to start January 1st, full on, boom, 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 boom. And, he's saying like, don't do that. You need to like, design your behavior when you're building your habits. So, why do we trust our future motivation more than our past patterns?
Wishful thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why do we trust our future?
We're assuming that we're going to be motivated tomorrow to start our diet.
No, yeah.
Yeah, when we know that we didn't start it yesterday. Or the day before, or the day before.
Like we are in denial.
Maybe, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, wishful think. We want to be motivated. Mm-hmm. We do. And I look at this like when I quit smoking cigarettes. I can't tell you how many times I tried to quit smoking cigarettes before I was successful, and it was really a lot of it was about motivation because I wasn't fully motivated. I was motivated because I felt like I should. And this is the same problem I have with my weight. I feel like I should lose weight. I need to lose weight because it'll be better for me.
My therapist says take should out of it.
Out of it.
Because that's a shame word.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Absolutely. But that's what we do to ourselves. And, and that was why I never could quit smoking before. It was because everybody else said I should quit smoking. I wasn't really ready to quit smoking until I was ready to quit smoking. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And my husband decided to quit waiting on me to quit smoking because we had been trying to quit smoking together many times. And we both, one or the other of us would fail and then the other one would fail.
Oh, my parents did the same thing.
Because our motivation was dependent on each other. And that doesn't work either. It has to be your own motivation, your own reasons. And you have to keep reminding yourself to be motivated. Does that make sense? So, and I don't know if he says anything about that, but that was what I found when I finally decided, and it took me a good 6 months to get my motivation together. I just kept telling myself, I really am motivated to do this. I really am motivated to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And then I did. And it stuck because I was the one who was motivated. I wasn't doing it because somebody else told me I should. I wasn't doing it because I was quitting with someone else and I was trying to keep up with their motivations. It was just something that I purely wanted to do for me. And it worked. And I quit smoking. It will be it was 19 years ago this last January. So, wow. Yeah, I know. Can you believe it? So, and it was a hard thing to do, but I did it. And it was because I had my own motivation for it. And I had to keep up that motivation. I had to keep reminding myself that I really wanted it. And because sometimes we lose that motivation, especially if it's easier to give in than to stay motivated.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that we as a society, we kind of romanticize motivation.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Like,
it's not
think
everything. Yeah.
yeah, we think of it kind of wistfully, like, if only I was motivated.
Uh-huh.
If only I had the willpower,
willpower.
and the motivation to stop this one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do it tomorrow. And then, oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow. And gosh, I feel like that kind of like falls on like my weight gain.
Mm-hmm.
Like the past couple of years, is that I'm going to start eating healthier on Monday, and then like there's donuts in the staff room or something. Oh, well,
I can have this one, and then
I
I'll go back on my diet on Monday.
yeah. Or I'm gonna like I have all of these like events planned, like Mother's Day, birthday. I have like 3 events this week, and there's no way I can diet this week. So
Right.
I'm gonna start on Monday. So and that's kind of like when I was in Weight Watchers. They talked about like just because you fall off one day doesn't mean that you can't like get back on it the next day.
Or that same day.
Yeah, that same day, just because you like messed up and you took
Yes.
a donut out of the donut thing, that doesn't mean that you need to eat 30 donuts that day.
Right. Well, and this goes back to again back to the substance abuse thing. If you look at like Alcoholics Anonymous or something, they tell recovering addicts, you start one day at a time, one drink at a time. If that's it's a tiny habit, refuse that one drink. Keep refusing that drink. Keep refusing that drink, and then you've made it through a day. And on the next day, if you're tempted for a drink, refuse that drink and refuse that drink and refuse that drink. And eventually that time will build up. But if you fall off the wagon, you're not just back to drinking again. You don't just go back to drinking. You start over. You just start back. If you fall off and you have that drink, then you just don't have another drink. You make that. That's the thing, is you're making that choice. It's a choice every time to have the drink or not make the drink or not have the drink. And so you have to choose it each time. Just keep choosing it. Or if you're trying to build a good habit, make the choice to do the right thing. Make the choice to do the habit that you're trying to build over and over. Make that choice. And if you skip a day or miss a day because little Susie got sick and you had to take her to the emergency room or whatever, that doesn't mean you failed. That means that at the very next opportunity, you go floss your teeth or wash your hair or whatever it was that you're trying to do, and you do it. But, are you a failure if you go to bed one night without taking a bath? No. Not at all.
No.
It doesn't make you a dirty person or anything like that. So why would you beat yourself up if you missed some other habit one time?
Or what I've done is if I just absolutely stayed up way too late and then I was like, oh, I really need to go to bed, I just turn the shower on and I get in it and I take a bath really fast.
And go to bed.
Yeah. And then it's done.
Yeah. But just say it was a really bad day and you don't have time to take a bath and you're exhausted and you have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and it's already midnight and you're tired. You go to bed. You're not a failure.
Yeah.
You are not a failure because you didn't take that bath. You are not a failure because you didn't brush your teeth before you went to bed. It's not all or nothing. It's never all or nothing.
So yeah, like that's it. Like and Fogg talks about in his book like outsmarting your motivation. And then he has like these steps that you can follow. And one thing I do like about this book is that after every chapter, he has exercises that you can do.
Okay.
To kind of like make these little change. Like after chapter 1, and this is before he gets into motivation, really. I just wanted to point this out. I know it's kind of inconsistent, but I want to point this out. Like, after chapter 1, he has, explore ways to stop a habit.
Mm-hmm.
And he gives you, like, some prompts for you to do.
Okay.
Like, step 1 is to write down 3 habits that you would like to stop.
Mm.
Three things that you would like to stop or like to be motivated to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And then for each of those things, think of 2 to 3 ways that you might remove or avoid the prompt. Like
the temptation. Or
yeah,
whatever.
the temptation. Yeah.
Oh.
You know, that goes back to my cigarettes. We talked about that on the addiction thing, too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I knew that I wanted to smoke a cigarette after I ate dinner. And so to remove myself from that desire, I got up and just started washing dishes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Simple, easy.
Mine was no longer buying the sugar stuff,
Right.
the sugar substitute.
If you quit
I just
buying it,
stopped
it's not
buying
there to eat.
it. Yeah. And then it was like, oh, well, I guess I don't need the little container that I was storing it in next to the coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Once the sugar was out, it was like, well, you know, I washed that and I put it away.
So you don't even see it anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't prompt you. It doesn't trigger you to want that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, for each habit, you're going to think of ways to remove or avoid the prompt.
Mm-hmm.
Then, for each habit, you're going to think of ways to make it harder to do.
Okay.
And then, step 4, for each habit, you're going to think of ways to reduce your motivation.
Reduce your motivation to do that habit. Okay.
Yeah. Because we're talking about bad habits. So
Right,
you're going to reduce your motivation to do that bad habit.
Okay.
And then for each habit, you're going to select your best solution from all those things that you wrote down.
Okay.
And that's his his exercise for exploring ways to stop a habit.
And that just gives
To
you
break
one
a
tiny
habit.
one tiny habit one tiny thing that you can do that will eventually blossom into more. So, yeah. Like removing the sugar. Quit buying the sugar.
Yeah.
The minute you quit buying the sugar, that makes it impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of moves us on to, like, outsmarting motivation.
Okay.
And he has these steps in behavior design to outsmart motivation. And his steps are, which I really like, are kind of like goal setting.
Okay.
And, we all like goal setting.
Oh,
we
yeah.
all
We
like to
talk
do
about
goals.
that all the time. Yeah.
I got my pen in my hand.
Yeah.
She's over here making notes about
Yes.
that.
Yeah, so step 1 is to get clear on what you want to do.
Okay.
Right?
I know it sounds obvious, but some people start this way too vague, like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to be healthier.
Right.
Or
I wanna
I
lose
want to
weight.
be more productive. I want to lose weight. So you need to, like, SMART goal. It needs to be specific.
Yeah.
So you need to clarify, you need to be specific. What specific thing, like Kristen's coffee thing, what specific thing do you want to be healthier?
Mm-hmm.
And so then you're going to step 2 is, you've got your thing. Step 2 is you're going to brainstorm. So instead of picking one habit immediately, you're going to list out a bunch of possible behaviors that could help you reach your goal. So if your goal in the abstract is to be healthier, you could list some behaviors like drink more water,
Okay.
walk after dinner, stretch for 30 seconds every day, start cooking at home,
Uh-huh.
And then that's going to like kind of break that down to more like specific attainable goals that you could do to get healthier.
Right.
So, we usually pick one big habit and hope it works, but Frog wants you to explore more multiple entry points into that habit.
Okay.
Ooh, I like that. Multiple entry points into the habit.
Yeah.
That makes sense because, if your goal is to lose weight, that's a broad goal.
There's 15 million different ways to lose weight.
There are.
Yeah.
But you're going to be most successful if you use multiple ways, multiple different methods. Not only am I going to exercise, however much that is, but I'm also going to cut out the sweetener in my coffee, and I'm not going to go get donuts, and I'm going to get 8 hours of sleep because we know that getting less sleep causes you to gain weight, and blah blah blah. So there's a lot of different things you can do altogether, small things that you can do.
But the problem is we try to do them all
in a big way.
Time.
We try to do them all in a big way.
Try to make all the changes all at once,
right?
And then it feels overwhelming,
right?
So that kind of like takes us to the next step. This is where most people mess up, really.
Okay.
Because you don't pick the best habit. You pick the one that fits your life right now.
Okay.
It's not black or white.
Yeah.
You have to ask yourself, like you're trying to lose weight.
Which one you're going to be most likely to do, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, do you have time to do this? Like, for example, I spend a lot of my time in the car driving to and from work. I don't have time to go to the gym.
Right.
By the time I make it home, I just want to like be home for an hour before I have to go to bed and get up and go do the thing again. So you have to ask yourself, do you have time for this? Does it fit your routine? Because what you're you have everybody has an established routine. So like you want to like make these changes to fit into your routine. You don't want to completely throw away your routine to make like a big change and then like give up on it right after you do that. So and then you have to think about things like you being tired and you being stressed. Will you realistically do this change when you're tired and stressed? And I find that happens a lot. Like like I my thing that my dentist is wanting me to do to change like my dental habits is to start wearing a night guard.
So you don't grind your teeth?
Yeah. So I don't grind my teeth, which, man, I'm telling you what, I wish I had been wearing it like all along.
Right.
I've been grinding my teeth for years. It's just that like lately I've just been really stressed and really headachy, and I had worked for years to get rid of my migraines, and I don't want them to come back.
Right.
Because of, grad school and work and everything else. So, I'm having to like work this mouth guard into my life. Because, you mess up like one routine and then you're just going to stop. So, even if I like go home and I'm only get like a sleep for like an hour, I'm going to wear that mouth guard. So basically, like I started out with, wearing it around the house before I even like fell asleep, to like now to the point where I remember to grab it before I go to sleep. But I had to like work that tinily into my life because, you know, me, like, I skip wearing it one night and I'm just, you know, like, oh, I'm never going to wear it again. Kind of like
Right.
situation.
It's like the day
Like
planner.
Kristen's CPAP machine.
Yeah, so the CPAP, like, I would put it on and then read my book for like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like the feeling of falling asleep while
I
I'm
love
reading.
my CPAP.
Well, I like the feeling of falling asleep while I'm reading, and what was happening was I was reading, and then I'd start to fall asleep, and then I didn't want to jar myself awake to put my mask on, so it was like, oh, I'll just put it on before I get sleepy so that it's already on, and then all I gotta do is just put my book down.
Yeah.
And it's already blowing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've started, like, now wearing the night guard when I'm doing my nightly reading as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, and that kind of throws us into step 4, really, because we started talking about it before I even mentioned it. You know, like, doing, like, that one little thing to, like, get you into wearing the CPAP or into wearing the night guard. Or, you know, if your, like, lofty goal to lose weight is to walk for 30 minutes. And we talked about this at the beginning of the episode. You know, walk to the end of your driveway, walk to the mailbox, and get that routine is I'm going to walk a little bit more every day.
Right.
You know, if you want to get into, you know, journaling and mindfulness and stuff like that, night 1, write 1 sentence.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about that because when we were talking about, like, habits, it's like, I don't know, for some people, like, those things like brushing your teeth and wearing your night guard and taking a shower, like, easy, like, not a problem, but they want to start a habit of something that's, like, outside of their normal routine, like
journaling,
outside
journaling.
of doctor motivated.
Right. Well, and it's so, like, journaling is something, like, I'm not a writer. I don't normally write. You know, I say that like I literally have 2 spirals stacked on top of each other, so I guess I do. But
you write notes.
Yeah, I'm a note taker, but I don't.
That still makes you a writer.
I don't journal, like, thoughts and feelings, and that's where I found, like, how do I start that habit? Because I'm guessing you're gonna get into that. Well, maybe I can use that as my clarity brainstorming.
I was just gonna tell you that on that one, because the micro habit, one of my habits that I am starting to do, that's part of one of my goals, and ChatGPT was the one that suggested this, rather than, you know, having this overarching goal of, you know, I'm going to journal every day. You know, it said do it 2 to 3 times a week only, and just write down my feelings. Let me remember exactly what it was. Let me look really fast. Sorry.
Well, while you're looking, that actually kind of goes into, like, a Fogg's step 5. Is that you're gonna attach your new habit to something that you already do.
Okay.
Oh, here it is. Needs, strengths, feelings, and triggers. And it's just those 4 things. So it doesn't even have to be a whole sentence. You could just put, this is what I need right now. I need more sleep. I've literally said that. I need more sleep. My strengths. I am resilient. I am strong. I am...
Or I accomplished this today.
I accomplished this today. Feelings. I'm kind of feeling blue. Or I'm feeling really happy that I did whatever it was. Triggers. I actually have said I had no triggers today. Nothing triggered me today.
Oh.
You know.
Yeah.
Or Ashley came home and was saying this and it triggered me into a frenzy. No, you know. Whatever. Yeah. You know, it's like... But it's really that simple. It could be as simple as a word or a thing. And that starts you on that journaling thing. Yes. And once you get in that habit, then you just start.
Oh, I like that.
So, something related that you already do is planner stuff.
Yeah.
So, ask Chat to come up with some like daily journal prompts or just one sentence prompt type things like tidbits. Print them out and attach them to your planner.
Yeah. And another one that Chad, I call him Chad now because of y'all. Chat GPT told me to write one challenge and one breakthrough.
Oh.
Like each month, do a reflection and do one of the challenges and one breakthrough. That's another whole thing, and that doesn't have to be hard either. It can be one sentence. Hey, I had a day where I had no triggers. That's a breakthrough. Right? So it's really that simple. So your journaling doesn't have to be, and all of these, I think that's the point that he's trying to make in this book is that
just floss one tooth.
It doesn't
just
have to
one
be
sentence.
this huge
I'm
thing.
forever gonna say just floss one tooth.
Right. It doesn't have to be this huge thing. You don't have to write your life story in a journal.
Yeah,
entry.
I know. That's what I was thinking. It doesn't have to be my memoirs.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like everything that you thought about
And you don't
in
even
that
have
day.
to. You don't even have to do it every day to have it be a consistent practice. Just the fact
Oh
that
yeah,
you
because
keep
if I did
coming
it
back
once
to-
a week, that would be
That's
like
still
52 times.
That's still a
Yeah.
consistent practice. If you just do it every couple of days, and then it's still a consistent practice, even if there's not a set number of days between the time that you did it.
yeah.
It's just the fact that you keep coming back to it over and over and over again. That's what makes it consistent.
Okay, so his final step in all of this is that, like, when you start these new habits, he says to celebrate immediately. Like, motivate
flossed my
yourself. Like, yay, I flossed my teeth.
My tooth.
I flossed my tooth. Mentally acknowledge it. Like, yes, I actually wrote today.
Yeah.
And I feel good about myself. And then tomorrow, hey, I wrote again today.
Look at
God,
me go.
I need to like take this into like, and like I've been journaling more. I need to like turn these into like actually like writing prompts to get back into writing. It's like journal and then do a creative type thing.
A quick one, and it doesn't have to be hard. One simple little paragraph is a creative exercise. Yeah.
That's like a really good
habit stack there.
Yeah, that's it. That is. So
Wrong book.
I know, but I can't help. I
They're
can't
very
help but go
similar.
back to things that we've talked about over and over and over again. Because they really, these principles all work, and they all work together. They do.
So yeah, after you make it a celebration, then you're kind of designing a behavior, and then Fogg talks about like finding your best new habits. So you have like all of these things. Now you have to ask yourself some questions. Do I actually want to do this? You don't say I should. You don't say I need to. But do I want to do this? Do I want to journal prompt? Do I want to journal every day? So ask yourself, do I want to do this?
That kind of goes back to your motivation too.
Yeah.
Because you're reaffirming your motivation to do something. Yeah.
And then ask yourself, can I do this on a bad day? If you have like I have migraines, can I do this on a migraine day where I don't want to get out of bed?
Right. Or what modification to it can I make?
Yeah.
To keep doing it. Yeah.
Does it fit into my current routine? Does it feel easy? Not like overwhelming.
Right.
Does it feel easy?
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Because you want those things to be easy habits to build.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's what, and and that's, like, basically, work smarter, not harder,
Mm-hmm.
when making these changes. And that's the bottom line to it, is work smarter, not harder. And then, he also goes into, like, if you want to take your questions to the next level, you could make a focus map.
Okay.
Well, kind of like a matrix, like, kind of like one of those political ideology maps where you kind of make like a cross or whatever.
Oh, the quadrants, yeah.
Yeah, the quadrants. And like you put the questions on the quadrant, like yes and no on one side, and kind of like rank how you want to do your behaviors and your goals and stuff like that.
A matrix.
Yeah, make the matrix. And we'll end this with one of his like exercises.
Okay.
So these are tiny exercises to practice behavior design. So, because we're here in the book and we're at the point of where we're designing behaviors, right?
Okay.
So, step 1, draw a cloud on a piece of paper. Come on, Kristen, let's do it. Draw this cloud. Draw a cloud on a piece of paper.
Okay.
Okay.
So, write the aspiration, get better sleep, inside your cloud.
Okay.
Then you're going to come up with, he says 10, but since we're doing this really quickly, like 3 or 4, come up with a couple of behaviors that would lead you to your aspiration of getting more sleep.
Do we put them in the cloud or outside of the cloud?
Write it outside the cloud.
Okay.
Oh, outside the cloud.
Yeah.
Getting better sleep.
That's fine.
Oh, yours a big one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
Mine's
All right,
tiny. See.
so, okay.
Yeah, so write some behaviors that would lead you to getting better sleep.
Okay. How many do we need again?
As many as
just
you can think of. Sticky notes.
Yeah,
Okay.
as many as you can think of, like right
Did
now.
you get what
right
I
this
meant by
second.
sticky
Yes,
notes?
I know what you meant by sticky notes. We've talked about that
Yes.
on the podcast before too. I don't remember where, but oh, let's see.
Okay, so once you have your behaviors down, you're going to put a star next to the behaviors that you believe would be highly effective for the most effective for getting better sleep.
Just the ones.
All of the above.
I know,
Okay, then
right?
put a star next to all of them if you think that those would be.
I'm going for 60 or 50%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I have
And
75.
then you're going to circle any of your stars that you can easily get yourself to do realistically. Like the most realistic, you're going to circle.
Okay.
That one.
So then you're going to have, so those behaviors that have both a star and a circle are going to be your golden behaviors.
Ah, okay.
So then you're going to think of a way that to make your golden behaviors a reality.
Okay. Think of a way to make my golden behaviors a reality.
Yeah. So he says that we haven't gotten into like the next step for that in the book just yet, but you're gonna like think of like one little tiny way that you can make the golden behavior a reality. Where
Okay.
can you like slide it in to getting better sleep?
Okay. I think.
Maybe. Okay. Okay, class. Does anybody want to share?
Yes. Okay. So, my cloud was ginormous and it took up the whole page. So
Right.
all of my little
You
side
thought
things
faster
are
than
on
I
the
did.
side. Oh yeah, I was like, let me write as many things. So I started with earlier. Getting better sleep, right? Going to bed earlier.
That was my first one too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I put melatonin,
I did too.
CPAP.
Oh, I didn't even put my CPAP on there because I already do that one.
I put no screen 30 minutes.
Me too.
Boundaries.
Those are good ones.
Oh, I didn't have boundaries.
Well, you know, I can figure out what the boundaries are,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's with myself,
Right,
right? Like,
yeah.
it means going to bed 30 minutes earlier
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
Not having my phone or telling Scott not to watch TikTok videos.
While you're getting ready for bed.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And then I put prayer.
Okay.
Because I always fall asleep while I'm praying.
Okay, so
Okay. Instant. So then I put the stars were the things that where I was like, oh, those are clearly like definites.
Right.
So no screen time, earlier, CPAP, and prayer. Because I know like
Okay.
I always fall asleep. So I put a star there. And then I circled, right? The circle was which ones?
You're like next step, the one that you think that you can do like
Oh,
right
the easiest
now.
one
Yeah,
I
the
could do
easiest one,
right
yeah.
now was I circled no screen time and I selected prayer because those are
Okay.
both like easy and they don't require anything.
Right.
Like they literally require nothing.
Right.
Mhm.
So, because like earlier means I have to give up
You have
something.
to change things.
Yeah.
Change more.
Yeah,
right?
Melatonin
you don't wanna give
requires
up,
me to
like,
actually like
Yeah.
swallow the pill,
Yeah.
which oftentimes I don't
I
want
forget,
to do.
right.
Yeah, and then the CPAP means I actually put it on my face, and I gotta
Yeah.
wash and dust it off because it gets dusty, right? Boundaries means like actually like telling myself no, right? So it's like, oh well, no screen time. Okay, prayer. And then you said the golden.
So those that have your stars and your circle, those are your golden things. That
And then
you're-
what did you say after that? Because I ended up writing something after that because of that.
A step. I think it was a step that you could do.
Yeah. So you're gonna design a way to make your goal or your golden behaviors a reality.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for no screen time, I said, like, obviously I put my phone down, but that just means going to bed earlier. So reasoning for me would be, well, I like to read before I go to bed or do something. Like I want to doom something, doom scroll, doom read, whatever. So I said swap my phone for a book.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then for prayer, I put no phone, lights out.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
So
That
both of
works.
my things require no phone.
Right.
So
So
the phone is the
you're
interrupter.
gonna laugh because mine
It's the
is
exact
so
same.
similar to
Yeah, I
yours.
figured
So
it was.
I did go to bed early, melatonin, no screens before bed, and no caffeine after 6 p.m.
Oh gosh! I didn't
Golly,
even
that's a
think of
good one
that
right
one.
there.
Yeah. That's a really hard one for me though. Even though I starred it and go to bed earlier and no screens, because those are both, they're all really easy ways to do it. But when it came down time to circle which one was most easy to do, I did the no screens before bed because no caffeine that one's
That
really
one is
hard.
really hard.
And and for many of the same reasons, like going to bed early. There's too many things I would have to change to make that happen.
Exactly.
So, but the no screens before bed is really easy. That's why I was laughing the whole time you're saying yours, because it's so similar.
We thought the exact same.
So, so no screens before bed. I don't really watch TV before bed. It's all my phone, and I do a couple of things before bed. So I really technically already put my phone down and don't touch it anymore because I read. But I thought if I really wanted to solidify that, like cement it in, what I could do is set my alarm and put the phone away from the bed before I get in the bed to read. So I'm still reading, to make sure that I didn't inadvertently reach over there and look at something on my phone. Because sometimes I'll be reading and I'll pick up the phone to look up something that I'm reading. And so that would eliminate that habit of doing that, or looking at it one last time before I go to bed after I read. So if it's away on the dresser instead of my nightstand, then I'm not going to get out of bed to go look at it.
Yeah.
And and the alarm is set, so then that will force me, also another good habit, to get out of bed to turn the alarm off in the morning before, because it'll sit there and ring. So
because better sleep to you also means sleeping at a desired time.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's yeah. But I thought it was interesting that we both kind of picked the same things. So we think a lot alike.
Well, I'm going to challenge our listeners to do this same thing. Draw the cloud. Draw the cloud and put an aspiration in the cloud, and then come up with behaviors. Star and circle your behaviors to get down to your golden behaviors. And then design a way to make your behavior a reality in your life.
This is it really is a great way to brainstorm a single behavior for any kind of goal that you want to set, because you can do the same thing with weight loss or running a mile or whatever you want to do. I'm going to clean out my garage. I could do the same thing with my garage clean out and probably easily come up with several little things I could do.
And who's to say you don't end up at some point doing all of those things?
Right.
Because when you mentioned caffeine, I was like, oh, and then I realized, because I've become like where I can't drink it after 6 p.m. Or it keeps me up, and it's like becoming more noticeable, like, and it's this weird cycle, because then I can't sleep because my brain is stimulated, so I am on my phone like researching,
right,
and it's like I can't stop researching and going down rabbit holes because my brain is stimulated because I had coffee,
right,
at like 6 o'clock or whatever, and it's like, oh man, it's not even sodas, it's just drinking a last cup of coffee.
Typically I try not to, like, I don't know, I kind of have this like weird work routine with that, is where I'll like drink coffee in the morning, and then I will swap to my protein shake around noon, and I'll eat some solid food, and then I'm kind of done with coffee for the day, because I've eaten food and I can't drink anymore.
I'm so bad. I drink coffee. I could drink coffee all day long, and it probably is my drink of choice, except that I'm also addicted to Coke. So at some point I want at least one Coke. But
she's addicted to Coke.
I
guys.
not that kind of Coke. But I like my coffee, and so I'm bad. I'll drink it at 6 o'clock at night, and I don't think it affects me quite as much. Well, I say that this is the person who goes to bed at 4 or 5
in the morning. Yeah.
But I think some of that is also, I don't want to quit doing what I'm doing to go to bed.
Yeah, because That's
Yeah.
exactly it.
So-
I don't want to quit what I'm doing
Right.
either because
Right.
in the evening, that's what I like to do. I like
A
to
tiny
read.
I want to
habit
and
might be, if it's the
research
caffeine keeping you up, a tiny habit might be switching to decaf.
Right. Or doing, even that, just stopping, the maybe stopping my work earlier in the day so that I could do the fun things that I want to, because I stay up to watch a TV show and craft and I don't get to start it until midnight. So maybe if I shut that stuff down by 6 p.m. and then do my crafting at night and watch TV, then maybe I could go to bed by midnight instead, things like that. So, yeah, I don't know.
Something to think about.
It is. Definitely is.
Well,
But it-
guys, I think that we're gonna shut down this book for the moment, but we definitely need to pick it up in a future podcast.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But next week,
Next week we're talking about what, Kristen?
Atomic Habits. So Amber and I were like, oh, are you reading the same book? And then we realized it's a different book, but very similar concept.
Mm-hmm.
So next week, we're going to pick up Atomic Habits. I will likely only touch on it and its principles because it's very similar. But we're going to talk about habit stacking. And then...
Which she has brought up in
yeah,
multiple.
I have brought it up
Yeah.
briefly, but we're going to touch on it. And then we'll probably let Amber come back to her book because hers is more like a workbook.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it. I'm excited. I wanna give this a try. So I'm actually interested in applying that to some of the other goals that I have.
That was me. That's what I said.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about my other goals where I have specific things that I'm trying to accomplish. I think using this little method to
The cloud.
yeah, that little cloud. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. And I'm also gonna try the breaking a habit too. I'd like to sit and think about all of the habits that I have, that are maybe less desirable habits. Maybe just like procrastinating. I don't know. Those kind of things. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm going to procrastinate on that and think about it. But definitely come back next week so we can talk about Atomic Habits.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Good deal.
All right. Well, check us out on our Heard It on the Podcast blog, and we will link this book for you guys to check out. And of course, we'll be linking our other book as well on the next week when we talk about it. Check out our Facebook page. Check out our website. Send us an email and let us know how your cloud activity went. We'd love to hear from you guys. And we'll talk to you next week.
Great.
Bye.